All right. Uh, you guys can hear me now, right?
Yes.
All right. That's good. All right. So I said today we're looking at an interesting aspect of product management. Initially, we discussed prior to in the beginning of this class, we looked at all the stages of product management: ideation, design, development, and launch. We've talked about the ideation part. We've looked at the design. We've looked at the development stages, how you manage your team and developing your product. And now we're looking at the product launch. And it's a very broader, you know, aspect of product management. In fact, when most times when you get to companies, right, you find out that some of them already have their product in the market. And if anything, they're just doing little enhancement. But the major focus is how they're going to get their product to their users, how the users are going to engage it, how they are going to scale and grow in the market. So sometimes when you get into companies, that might be the focus in terms of boosting revenue. So you might not necessarily be doing so much of user research unless it's a new product. They're trying to bring a new product to the market. Or if the product is already in the market, or the product is just about to get into the market, they've already developed it, but you're just about to launch it into the market. You find yourself carrying out trying to understand, having to understand how users will adopt this product. All right, and that's what we call adoption. And there is something we call adoption lifecycle. We're going to look into all that entails in this regarding this aspect of product launch. All right. Table of content, we'll be looking at what is product adoption. We'll be looking at 5 key stages in product adoption lifecycle. We'll be like looking at what is the product adoption curve. So there's something called product adoption curve. We're looking like all the stages of this adoption curve. We'll be looking at optimizing, onboarding, and adoption across technology adoption curve. So we look at how you can onboard and have people adopt your product across this adoption curve. So there are a couple of stages in this curve. We're going to look at that as well, on how stages at which users adopt your product. So there are several stages in that curve. All right, we'll look at that. We'll also be looking at how to market to each of the group on the product adoption curve. So there are several approach strategies at which you can market to these groups in this adoption curve. All right, it's a pretty amazing stuff, and we'll be getting down into it right away. All right, so let's look at our first slide. It says, what is product adoption? I wrote here, I said product adoption refers to the customer journey from initial awareness of the product to becoming an ongoing user. So it's pretty much the period where your customer get to discover your product. You know, how they got to discover your product, how did they even get it to encounter your product in the first place, to the point where they get to now become a constant user or a very, you know, committed user of your product. All right. So that journey, customer journey is what we call the adoption process, or yeah, adoption process. And every customer goes through it. All right. And as a product manager, you have to understand this process. All right, understand each stages. I wrote here, I said there are 5 key stages in adoption lifecycle that determines whether a new product succeed or fails. All right. So the stages include awareness, interest, evaluation, trial, and adoption. We're going to look into everything in details very soon. I said understanding this adoption lifecycle model provides critical insights for technology product marketers and managers seeking to acquire, activate, retain customers. So it's really important that you understand this adoption lifecycle such that you can collaborate with your marketing team or your product marketer or your sales team as a product manager to understand how you can acquire your customer, how you can activate them in terms of have them use your use your product, and also retain them in terms of having them coming back to use your product. All right. So by mapping targeted marketing strategies to each phase of the funnel, companies can dramatically boost acquisition and growth. So there are a couple of stage. There's this stage, right? Awareness, interest, evaluation, trial, adoption. There's a need for you as a product manager to have tailored strategy that would help you tackle your customer at every phase, at every stage of this product adoption stage. All right. So it's very important that you have that understanding, and which is one of the things we'll be discussing today. So I'd like you guys to pay attention and see, and grasp what this aspect of product management entails. All right. So this is a picture diagram that shows you how that journey goes. You see awareness, talks about discover, where they get to discover your product, general knowledge of your product. It could be, and this is where you're talking about how your customers are getting to know about your product. Is it via advertisements? Is it in a webinar? Is it in a is it by referral? Is it by word of mouth? How did they even get in contact with knowing about your product in the first place? Then we look at interest. Interest in the sense that, how are they trying to know the value that your product has to offer. So when you remember when you if you for a minute you have a at the point where when you start showing interest in a particular thing or a particular person, let's use a person for an instance. If you like someone or you like a girl or guy, you would the first time you saw her, you get into a maybe you guys met at a party or something and you saw, I mean, this girl is fine. That's you being aware of her. Oh, this girl is pretty. She has a nice voice. She looks good. She dresses well. Stuff like that. But then after seeing her, you then have an interest in her. Then you want to get to the point where you want to get to know her more, know her values, whether it aligns with yours, know whether she gets sense, aside the external packaging and everything. So you're trying to know the value she has. You're trying to ask questions. That's when you're getting to talking stage. You are getting to relating that to product. These are periods where your customers are looking up your product online, trying to read the value proposition that your product has. What are the features? What does it do? And things like that. It means that this customer is already showing interest in your product. All right. So then the evaluation, whereby maybe there's a similar products out there or something, and they're not trying to compare the value or compare the pricing or compare several things that before they will start you know before they start pretty much just compare your product with other competitors and stuff like that, and to the point where they'll be like, okay, you know what, I'm not sure about this yet, but let me give it a try. A trial. And that's when we look at the trial part, where you just want to test, give it a shot. As in terms of human being, you could say you want to go on a date. All right, you go on a date, stuff like that, and stuff like that. So that's a trial, to the point where you now want to then, if the product then satisfy your requirements, you be like, well, everything checks in this product. I like how it helps me to reach my outcome and things like that. And if it meets your satisfy your requirements, then you buy it or you subscribe to it fully and things like that. And if it doesn't, you churn, you reject the product, or right. So you could see that it's literally like the same flow of the same process of any human in terms of committing or adopting, or adopting anything or committing to anything. Same process, you know. So, and that's what people are able to evaluate to come to all of this stages that we have here. All right. So yeah, so let's dig down into the first stage, the awareness stage. All right. Awareness phase is when a prospect first become conscious of your product. All right, like I said, first when they get to even see your product, all right, but lacks information about its features, compatibility, value, proposition, stuff. It could be maybe in a discussion, someone saying that, or he was trying to do something, and so I use this product, I use CareerEx to do it. The person, CareerEx, but the person doesn't know what CareerEx is. He just said you mentioned it, that you use it to do this, but doesn't know all that the product can do and all of that. So the person just get to know, get to be aware. Like, they said the key question prospect are asking at this point is, what's this? What is it all about? What's this product all about? So they just saw it, and like they're still curious. For marketers, objective should focus on sparking that initial interest, introducing the core benefit of the solution. Tactics tend to cast a wide net through channels that may have low conversion rate but can reach completely new audience. So if you look at, for any of you that have been ventured into marketing before at any point, you understand that there are some point where your focus as in your marketing, for your marketing could literally just be reach. You want to reach as many people, as many of our target audience, you know, before you even start thinking of conversions. All right. Let everyone people even get to know about our product. Let as many people get to know about our product. All right. And that's literally one of the first two. So as a product manager, you also need to understand these stages as well, so that you can best be able to provide the necessary knowledge to your team on how they can position themselves, or yes, or help them restructure themselves in a way whereby they can spark interest, in users. So which is where you're looking at, you now start working with your marketing team, who they will then start fleshing out really interesting marketing campaign. Of course, you're not the one doing the marketing campaign, the marketing team, but you already understand the stages. So you work in collaborating with the marketing team. They are looking for a campaign that can work, but you understand the essence and the of that product. All right. So marketing goals will be you build brand recognition, awareness in the market, communicate the basic functionality and benefit. Um, use broad outreach method to increase visibility. Broad outreach method could be, maybe you want to do a rally, you want to go on billboard, you want to go on TV, radio, you want to use an influencer, things like that, just so that people can get to know about your product. All right. Tactics can involve content marketing through blogs, guide, educational material to attract web traffic, establish thought leadership, provide helpful information to prospects. I don't know if you guys have ever stumbled on some adverts on TikTok or Instagram, where they always call someone that seems to be an expert, and the person is talking about the product and stuff like that, about something, and it's not sharing that this is the product that can help you do this, do this. It has a way of conditioning people that makes them see that, especially if he's a thought leader or an expert that is talking about, and the person is now refine your product. It helps build a level of credibility for your product, help them to even want to consider that product because of the quality of the qualification of the person that is speaking about, and that is refine your product for a particular problem. All right. So you're looking at search engine optimization info to boost visibility in organic search. So you're optimizing your search to ensure that when people search for major keywords, they can find your product on their search. All right. We're looking at display advertising, which I talked about, retargeting campaign to increase impression frequency. We're looking at public relations, to end media coverage, introduce new introduce your product to new audience, social media presence, social selling to expand reach, and things like that. All right. So awareness phase is all about casting wide possible net as possible. All right. It's all about making noise about your product, creating buzz, and letting as many people come in contact with coming to the knowledge of your product. All right. So that's the awareness stage. The next stage we have is the interest. All right. So once your prospects show initial interest, right, they seek to learn more about your product, the work, the capability. All right. This phase is focused on providing enough information. So you need more. You need to have them break your information into simple forms, more relatable ways, that they can understand and demonstrate the relevance and the value that is providing that it can provide to them. This will help you convert early interest into consideration. All right. So there's a period where we looked at the user journey, and we're looking at what was the chart we're looking at that period. Was this Scamper? Yeah, was Scamper we're looking at, I think, where we talked about yeah, I think it was Scamper we looked at as well. So yeah, so there's a you are to the point where they now want to start considering your product. So marketing goals is to provide more detailed information, demonstrate your future capabilities through the media, convert early interest into active consideration and evaluation. Tactics involve website landing page with in-depth information, key benefits, differentiators and stuff like that. So you want to have at this point, you want to have maybe through that advert, there should be a call to action that brings them to your landing page whereby they can read more about your product. So in this page, you want to have a landing page where people can read more about your product. You want to have videos on your product. You want to have ebooks, templates, show demo video and show comparison how your product differs from the competitors, and things like that. All right. Next stage we have evaluation. All right. Once you led once you got into the evaluation stage, right, this is where they are starting to start considering whether they want to purchase, they want to subscribe. They're looking for serious business case to justify why they need to use your product. All right. So the buyer journey typically involves presentation, demo, free trials, and things like that. So if you've seen some landing page after the person has read this thing, you see a call to action that says request demo. Some people will say try for free. All right. So that's literally you are taking them to the stage of evaluation whereby they can really just have a hands-on the product and see how it works, how it used, and be and get to the point where they know that okay, I think this product works for what I need it for. All right. So the marketing goals for this is to convey credibility and value through sales process. So in this stage, it's your sales team that are there. All right. Your sales team are the one running the demo, working closer to them to show them ask questions. They're getting on a call with them, asking what are their needs, how can you create how can you tailor your product to their needs and things like that. So at this stage, evaluation stage is where your sales team are on board and you have to collaborate with them in a way whereby they need every necessary information to be able to get the job done at this evaluation stage. All right. Remember, you're a product manager. You are literally the center across all of the every aspect of the product. All right, product lifecycle. All right. So now you're helping the business case to purchase with ROI analysis. Okay. So tactics involve customer case studies, testimonials that speak to ROI outcome, return on investment, if you guys don't know what ROI means, that speaks to the return on investment and the outcomes, free one-on-one consultation with sales team, like I mentioned, to determine whether it fits their need, their problem. All right. You're looking at ROI calculator to help them see this is the massive amount of value that they will get compared to other competitors. All right. You're looking at generous free trial times to allow adequate testing time. Maybe you want to give them 30 days free trials so that they can really use the product and see that this thing works. This thing helps us to achieve our needs and also help us get our outcomes, meet our outcomes. Content offers with implementation guides, tip sheet, planning templates. So at this point, you're also giving them free perks that would help them even, improve their processes and things like that. In addition to, getting to use your product, try to evaluate your product. All right. So with consolidation phase, prospects want reassurance that they are making the right choice, and that's what you should give them. Give them that reassurance that they are making the right choice. Case studies from recognized brand, metrics around waste production. So you're giving them data to show them how your in this, what I wrote here is, you have, in terms of, giving them several case studies of other brands that you've worked with, seeing how you've helped them, maybe, reduce their, cost, reduce their cost, increase their productivity, help them save more, improve their operation efficiency, things like that. So you get, this is, at this stage, you're looking at even, interviewing some of your users that have used them, their stakeholders, get to talk about how that product has helped them and helped their brand. So when people look at this, it helps them evaluate more to even come to the point where they then want to use your product. All right. So next one is the trial stage. All right. Before committing to your full purchase, most prospects will initiate for free trials or pilots. That's why it's more. That some people actually get to skip some of this product, that they can even come from consideration to just start wanting to, just buy it ASAP. No stress. Purchase your product. So, but some want a trial, a test, a pilot of the product. All right, so let them evaluate substantiability for current needs, ease of integration with systems. So at this stage, your integration team is also helping them to see how it's compatible with their product and things like that, with their solution, if it's a solution that requires integration and things like that. Your marketing goals during this trial should be ensuring excellent product experience. So at this phase, when they are trying to test your product or trying to try a product, your major focus is experience. So here you're having your customer experience team on board, or your customer support or account manager on board in this place, whereby they are really just helping them provide the necessary experience, ease of use for that, for a long time commitment to your product. All right. So if they have any issues, you guys you are responding quickly, you are helping them quickly. Maybe they experience a bug, you are solving that quickly and things like that. And they know that these people are really vested in ensuring that we're able to use and gain a good experience with their product. All right. Taxes include a strong customer support, like I mentioned, team available to smooth over issues. All right. Robust self-service knowledge based on for onboarding and technical audit. So you want to have a self-service onboarding. I don't know if you guys have noticed some, you go into some app and you start seeing their onboarding that takes you, they'll be like, try out how to use this feature. All right. Then I start taking step by step. Okay, you click on this, it tells you what that button says. After you try it, it takes you to the next one. You try it, it tells you next and next. So those are what we call self-service onboarding. All right. So it just helps the user to just know how to use that product without any person walking them through. All right. So it's a very very effective feature that you put in your product, especially when you're trying to meet new adopters. You're trying to, yes. So if you have something like that, it's a very great advantage that people want you. And again, if you don't really have a broader team of customer support, when you have that, it's cut the need of having to start doing walkthrough, demo all the time and things like that. Uh, you know, so we have the onboarding guide, internal training initiatives. So you also have onboarding guide inside. You also have training videos as well that you provided in the solution that helps them to really understand how to navigate and use the solution. You might also want to have community forums, Slack channel to exchange ideas between users. So this community really helps a lot. Where people feel like, oh, there are more people using this solution. We have people that they're experiencing the same challenge that I have. So there's a community of people that you create a community. It's a very helpful thing, especially when you have a new product, you're trying to bring a new product into the market. People who are always giving ideas, providing feedback, asking questions, and you have a team of maybe what they call them now? There's a community manager or stuff like that helps asking the questions and just creating the engagement in that community. All right, so we're looking at also special offers, discounts, upgrade incentives for subscribers. All right, so trial phases is the final opportunity to wow your customer prospect. You literally want to, you know, you know, you want to alleviate lingering doubts about, whether they want to commit their budget into using your product. All right. And the last stage is then the adoption stage, or this is when the customer transition from free trial user to becoming an ongoing paid subscriber or licensee. While acquisition is crucial, marketing job isn't done once the initial purchase occurs. Right, just know that I have to put that in because people think that when people use your product, they eventually buy. That's where it ends. Your market doesn't end because you need to keep retargeting them, give them sure that they are coming back. Your current revenue is one of the things that boost boost a startup or a company. Having your customer keep coming back to use your product. All right. So you're looking at marketing goals should now shift to developing customer loyalty and brand advocacy, generating referrals and word of mouth momentum, encouraging expanded use of the product within the account. All right. You're looking at tactics will involve outstanding onboarding and continued customer service, ongoing education through webinar and event and training. So this is something you keep providing to your customers. If you notice you see products that most products are always running webinars, always running events, always running trainings. These are means to actually keep their customer engaged and keep coming back. And it shows that this product is looking to innovate, looking to improve, and also wanting to actually engage and carry their customers along. All right. You're looking at community engagement opportunity through your users and group, through user group and conferences. You're looking at referrals. You're looking at affiliate programs to incentivize sharing of your products. I remember when was it Piggyvest, when it first came out, they had this referral model as well, where if you refer someone, you get and the person saves a particular amount, you get 1K into your own savings as well. So if you imagine if you refer 30 people and the 10 people uses, save money to piggyback, you get 30K like that. So and that with that way, I think that was one of the fastest way whereby piggyback was able to really grow and scale fast. So using that referral method as well. So you're looking at bundling and upselling offers to expand usage. All right, maybe the user start was using a feature, you want to upsell other offers so that they can start using some other features or buy other sub products within your product and things like that. All right. So this is literally just continuing to nurture your customers by highlighting power features that they may have missed, integrating feedback into your roadmap, and crafting expansion offering that provides more value. So here, your aim is to just keep providing more value to your customers and having them come back. All right. So that's what that entails in terms of the product absorption lifecycle. And it's now something we then call the adoption curve. All right, give me 1 second, guys. Okay, so here we have what we call the product adoption curve. Product adoption curve. All right. Here, the product adoption curve essentially is SaaS, software as a service. It's majorly for software as a service actually, but I think it's even expand beyond that. Software as a service version of the fusion of innovation theory from Everett Rogers. All right. Which depicts the bear curve of how different set of users adopt new technology over time. So this curve just shows you how users adopt new technology over a period of time. So the focus here is how the stages of each users and how they get to start using your product. All right. the stages when users start using your product. So it includes 5 distinct segments. We have the innovators, we have the early adopters, we have early majorities, we have late majorities, and we have the laggards. All right. So these are the 5 segment of the adoption curve. All right. So this is how the curve looks like. All right. You see here, we see the innovators, we see the early adopters next, the early majorities, the late majorities, and the laggards. This understanding these different segments in technology adoption process helps companies to tailor their strategies to meet each of the groups. So there are people that fall into each of these categories. There's some people that they are innovators. There's some people that are early adopters by nature. You get there's some people that are early majorities. All right, and laggards and late majorities and things. And when we look into this, deep dive into this more, you see you personally can tell what stage you fall on self, and how showing how well you adopt new technology. All right. So this is more of a clearer distinct that shows early markets. And as a product manager who is looking to bring out new product into the market, your main focus will most likely be the innovators and the early adopters, because these are people who are innovators, are literally tech enthusiasts. All right, people who are always looking to, they're already in that space of what's the new tech, what's the new tech in town, what's the new this thing in town. They are enthusiasts. All right. Most of them are people you find in Slack communities, looking at, having discussion on new stuff, on new product. Yeah, these guys are innovators. You have the visionaries, the early adopters. Then we then have this chassis here, that's where you need to cross before you start getting to the early majorities, and their numbers differ. Your early majority are people more than your early adopters, and these are people that are pragmatics in nature. Then you're looking at the conservatives, right? The late majorities. Then we're looking at laggards, people who are still skeptics, are still asking questions, they're not sure, and everything like that. All right, so that's literally how the curve looks like. All right. Okay. So innovators, right? So innovators are the first to try new product technology, right? They are always on the forefront of product lifecycle. They take risk on on latest innovation. Their early feedback is invaluable to refining products, testing them out before reaching the broader audience. These people, they are people that, one, they are always looking for beta version of product, and they don't mind whether it even has a bug, Addison. They are willing to try it out just to get that experience of and things like that. So there are people who are innovators on their own. All right, the next ones are the early adopters, though not so eager as innovators play, but early adopters play a critical role in spreading the word about your new technology. They are influential in convincing others by sharing success story and other positive experience with their product. So early adopters are people that can talk about your product. All right, people that when they get to try it out, all right, you can see them having conversation, telling their peers, so I've been trying to maybe someone that is into crypto stuff like that. I've been trying to do this thing. I'll say, you don't try this. Have you tried this app? I use it for this. Whether the person is on using it or not, they will start talk to other people about it willingly. Word of mouth. Nothing, no this thing, because they are easy to influence other people to try your product. So these are early adopters, right? We'll be looking at and third one is the early majority, right? Early majority take risks less than early adopters, right? They will wait until a product has demonstrated its value through multiple reviews and word of mouth. So early majorities are people that if they go to you know whether early majority. Like, let me give an instance, right? So um you go on Konga or Jumia, right? And you want to buy a product and you look at the product and you didn't see any review on it. If an early majority, you will not buy that. If an early majority, right, you will not buy that product because you didn't see any review. All right, do you get? you're just automatically know that you're an early majority. If you're looking for a review, I didn't see, you will not just buy it because you don't want you don't want any story that touch. But early majorities, by early adopters, they will go into description, read about the product. I'll be like, this thing makes sense. Even if there's no review or anything, they'll let me just try this thing. Let me try this new product. Let's see how it goes. I like what it's all about and stuff like that. Let's just see how it goes. These are early innovators, early adopters, all right. Okay. So this group of people represent a large portion of potentials, and this is how majority of people are. All right. Technology adopters by this group signify the product as enter the mainstream. All right. So if your product has been able to get to a point where you've already been able to cover their major concern for early majority, which is you're able to get reviews, have people talking about the product. It's easy for you to get early majorities. Because early majority, all they just need is proof that people are using this, some other people are using these things. Proof that it is working, proof that it is it has value. So if you're able to draft position your marketing and get people to to share that review, you will to get early majorities. All right. All right. So then we then have the late majorities. All right. These are people who try new product after it has become mainstream. By this time, the product is well in the middle of technology adoption lifecycle. These people, they are skeptical, risk averse, often influenced by peers who have already adopted the product, but they are practical, and when it benefits them, they will change their mind. So these people are people that until early late majority as they won't even look at the advert. It is until someone who is close to them is using it and someone that they trust. Maybe they go visiting someone and the person is using that product. I'm like, I've been about this product. You are using it as well. And the person, yeah, I'm using it. And the person use it and I say, yeah, show me how this thing works. They'll be asking questions. You see the late majorities, they will ask all the questions that they can ask. All right, before they'll get to the obvious. Oh yeah, show me how this thing works. This show this. So when it starts in, and the person be like, oh, I used to try it now, and they try it by themselves and things like that, you know, before they want to change their mind. All right, and we then have the laggards. All right, these are most resistant to change, adopt new products only when necessary. All right, they often prefer traditional method, and we finally switch to new product essentially as an alternative. So laggard might literally be maybe our dads or fathers that are already accustomed to a particular, they're already used to a particular method, right? Of doing something, right? So it's a whole lot of mental gymnastics for them to now start wanting to try new products, and they won't gravitate towards it in any way. So people like that can be really hard to convince, especially if they have just made up their mind that they just want to stick to a particular method, a old traditional method of doing things. All right, and most times you don't need to bother yourself about these people in any way. But the presence about this set of people are most times people that actually have big influence on how the market can change. They might have a level of authority in a way, maybe because of there might be people that have been in that market for so long, all right, and they might really people that have really good level of authority in that market, all right. So if you're able to get laggard as well, your product will literally scale in the market, all right. So how do you engage these users at each stage? All right. We looked at for innovators, you want to offer them beta testing, early access, and then so that you can gather feedback through surveys and focus group. For early adopters, you're looking at targeted marketing, highlighting the innovation features to them and case studies and testimonials. So you're looking at they really want to see how this product is different. All right, you're looking at giving them more case studies on how you've used the other um you know other customers have used your product and things like that. Early majorities, you're looking at emphasizing the product benefits, offer onboarding and building trust with real world examples and social proof. So for early majority, all they need is social proof. All right, more people talking about the product, real life example, people saying, oh, this is this and this. You're looking at interviewing people. They're seeing videos of people engaging it. They are seeing reviews that, from other people, not even influencers. Someone just comes up and talks about review the product. This is how you get to, engage early majorities. For late majorities, you're looking at highlighting the stability, offer discounts, provide simple onboarding to reduce adoption barriers. So because these people, they're not even gravitating to your product. So you need to make the process very easy for them to use, as simple as possible. And you might want to see yourself offering this discount as well for them. All right. So laggards, you need to compare your old products with the new. Offer extensive support. Better emphasis on extensive support and focus on solving pain points. Because these guys have been accustomed to a particular process. You need to be able to show that this your new product is solving a major pain point for them. And if it does, you will see a level of transition of laggards into your product. All right. So how do you onboard innovators, right? I already talked about that. But pretty much what I mentioned. I said innovators are most various risk takers, always open to testing technology and onboarding for segments should be minimal. Allow them explore. All right. Innovators, people, they really want to take their time. They don't really need too many people because already innovators are people who are tech savvy, right? They didn't know how product works, the regular process of moving from one point to another. It's not like it's not like when you're trying to, they're not people like your parents where you're telling them, so how did I go to dashboard? Where do I click to go to this thing? And I know some there, and I know even looking at the engagement on this on our product management group, you could tell that we have a whole lot of um you know late majorities, and I don't want to say like that, but I know we have a lot of late majorities, because maybe perhaps they're not so tech savvy, or they are used to using old model of education, and things like that. They're not used to um, online classes and things like that. All right. So you need quick start guide, nothing to this thing, just quick start guide and a better access. You good for these people, right? Exclusive content, feedback opportunity. So interesting about innovators, they want to share their opinion, they want to give you feedback, because they are also like probably in that space as well, in that tech space as well. So they're looking to see how your product, even eager to help you see how your product can grow. All right. So provide opportunity to engage with your product team through exclusive webinar, test. These are people that they will literally volunteer to be part of your test, your user group, all right, test group, so that they can give you feedback. Join us, let's join this. They'll say that there are people that will willing to join your community without even talking much. So the key metrics you're looking for these people when you're boarding them, you're looking at to track, you're looking at time of value. You track how quickly innovators find value in your features. All right. So the faster they get value, you know that you are, if they're taking time to get value, mean that either your user journey is taking longer, or you have to shorten some steps in how they're able to get their outcome done or use a particular feature. All right, you're looking at feature usage. You're monitoring how often users engage with experimental features. All right, are they trying to? Are they curious about another feature just to see what it does and things like that? You're looking at feedback and engagement rates. Measure their participation in beta testing and feedback program. So this is what you're tracking. This is what you're tracking at your onboarding when you're trying to onboard innovators. All right. Remember, you already define this kind of people, so you can tell which of your customers fall into this category. Right. So onboarding early adopters and early majorities, you're looking at these are people who are excited about new technology, but still appreciate some guidance to unlock the full potential of the product. All right. That's how they differ from innovators. Innovators, they don't even need. They don't. There are people that there are people that don't even need. They don't even read. They most likely will never read the step, because the thrill of finding it out themselves is what gives them joy. All right. So we have the early adopters who are willing to invest time to learn but expect a streamlined onboarding experience, right? Another thing is that innovators won't mind if they encounter bug. They'll quickly tell you there's bug, but they'll still continue. Early adopters might get frustrated when they're encountering bugs a lot, right? So you want to ensure that you expect a streamlined onboarding experience for your early adopters. All right. You're looking at early adopters want to get ahead of the adoption curve, but they still value proven stable products. All right. They need clear guidance and assurance that your product will meet their need efficiently. So you need to assure them on this. All right. Onboarding early adopters. All right. So I wrote here that early adopters and majority can be onboarded in these following ways. All right. First of all, you look at step-by-step tutorials and guided walkthrough. You provide them that. You provide them in-app tooltip and messaging. All right. So you want to provide two tips. Maybe put two tip on some couple of things so that they can understand what this thing is. All right. Yeah, two tips is a very, 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 very helpful feature, especially when you are trying to meet engage early adopters. You're looking at community engagement as well. I already talked about that. Key metrics you're looking at to measure is feature adoption rates. Track which feature are adopted quickly to understand which resonates with their segment. For this one, it can even help you to validate which is the main product that people are resonating more with. So you can easily know the one that you might have to churn, you might have to, sunset quickly. Because sometimes, like I mentioned, you can get in that period where you put out some couple of features and you realize that your early adopters and innovators are only using out of 5 features, they're only using 3 features. And when you look at the rate at which they're using the features, maybe it's a rate of 10 to 2, you know, when 10 to 1 self or 10 to 2, so that rate is really it's so that's just what you look at as well. Looking at onboarding completion rates, measure how often early adopters complete the entire onboarding process. You look at how often they complete the onboarding process. So they mean that how quickly they're able to move um from start, to point of even finishing what they need to, how using the product to do what they want to do. All right, what they needed to do. All right, so you're looking at engaging with community forums as well. Monitor participation on your forum, on your user group. All right. So onboarding late majorities and laggards. Late majority need extensive support and reassurance, like I mentioned, right? You will need to provide clear and straightforward instruction and access to reliable help resources. All right, laggards only adopt new products when it's actually unbearable to not adopt them. You get you get that laggard. So it's when they are tired of the product and they know that if I don't use this product, it will not help me move forward in what I need to do. So that's when laggards get to start using your product. All right. They require extensive ongoing support and clear, simple instruction. Think of them as your grumpy old grandpa. Everything needs to be absolutely no brainer. Like seriously no brainer. Make it as simple as possible if you want to get the laggard. All right. Um, so onboarding these people, you're looking at simplified onboarding with comprehensive resources, offer simplified jargon-free onboarding materials like video tutorials, detailed FAQs, and extensive help resources, provide robust help center with access to detailed guides, tutorials, and direct support. You're looking at personalized assistance, so you might want to give them one-on-one support. You have a customer support which is dedicated to a particular user. All right, such as live chats, one-on-one training sessions. All right, what do you want to measure? Metrics to measure in this part includes support requests, frequency, track the frequent and nature of your support requests to identify common pain points. The lesser you have requests means that you're actually doing a good job. Or you have people are the lesser you're getting tickets for issues, all right, the more you know that you're doing well. All right. Basic feature usage, monitor whether laggards are using core features effectively. All right. So this, you know whether your product is literally user friendly, like you claim it. All right. Retention rate. This is late majorities and laggard are more likely to not give any chance to new product. All right. So if you see whether they are coming back, so you know that you are really doing a good job, or your product is meeting their needs if they are coming back to use your product. All right. So here we're looking at marketing strategy for each of these user group in this stage of the product adoption curve. All right. Marketing strategy for innovators. Right. You're looking at highlighting innovative and cutting edge features. Right. This is what innovators want to hear. And then you're looking at framing your messaging in a way whereby you say, I will be the first to experience our latest breakthrough. You know, innovators don't jump on top of them. You know, I remember when Apple released their Apple Vision Pro and things like that. It is innovators that will first try that product. An early majority won't find themselves trying to want to start using Vision Pro. All right. Innovators are people because it's a breakthrough, this thing, having to just stay where something on your face and you can interface virtually with stuff, So being able to highlight this the unique and breakthrough the innovation and the cutting edge features, being able to highlight that would really help you get innovators. Provide exclusive preview and early access. Like I mentioned, beta testing opportunities and things like that will help you get early innovators. Leverage community engagement. Encourage innovators to join user group forum, participate in feedback sessions, share their experience, and use their insight to provide products and create buzz. These people are like that. They're willing to join your user group, try your product out, test it. You don't even need to incentivize them. They're always very enthusiastic about new products, new products coming into the market. All right. Okay, so marketing to early adopters and early majorities. All right, you see earlier these people see early adopters see potential innovation and are willing to take risks, like we mentioned. All right, however, they still prefer some level of validation before they commit. All right. Why still being interested in new project, new technology are pragmatic, so they need to see proven value before adopting a new product. They rely on success stories. So as a product manager, you're working with your marketing team to give enough of success stories, a lot of business case, a lot of reviews to help them to see that this technology has been validated in the market. All right. So marketing strategy, you're looking at emphasizing unique value proposition. All right. In this point, you're looking at value, stating how your product solves specific pain point and provide competitive edge. All right. You're also leveraging testimonials and reviews. You're offering webinars and live demos, hosting webinars, having Q&A session to showcase your product features and address any concerns directly. You're also demonstrating ease of use and return on investment. People want to know that if they put money in this thing, they will get their return on their investment. All right. You provide detailed use cases as well. All right. There's several use cases on how your product can be used and how to provide value to the customer. You need to provide these to get early adopters and early majorities. All right. For late majorities, all right, and laggards, right. Remember we said these people want something that works and doesn't cost extra edit. They don't want wala, so they are practical. They need to be told that not adopting this new technology will put them at a disadvantage. You get. They really need to know that if they don't start using this product, their processes will crumble or they'll be left behind and stuff like that. All right. So you need to tell them how your product is industry standard. So you need with these people, you need to start looking at how you can create a level of trust. You want to start licensing yourself with some really major, some big, some really major standardized regulation bodies to show that your product is trustworthy. They can trust your product. They have all of the necessary licensing. Um, you know, uh, all right. So that's pretty much how you're able to get these late majorities and laggard. All right. Um, So marketing strategy you can use for this set of people, we're looking at highlighting popularity, industry adoptions. Highlight popularity and industry adoption. Here you want them to see that a lot of people are using our products. Say in your message, you want to start saying, join the thousands of business that trust our solution. So here they want if thousand people are not started using your product, you cannot get late majorities. They want to be sure that a lot of people are using your product already. All right. They want to know that. All right. These are people that they only use your product because it's popular. That's it. There's some people that have you noticed that some people that even you personally, you most likely try a product because a lot of people are talking about it. This person mentioned it. This person mentioned it. What's in this product self? And it's not because you know the value. Some late majority they might not even really even understand the value, but the fact that a lot of people are using it self will want to be one of the reasons why they want to try it out. All right, so address pain points and hesitation, create content that address common concerns about switching to new technologies. These people are looking at this, late majority might literally be the boss of of one very old boss of a particular organization who his major concern is how he's able to, save cost, help their operational efficiency and things like that. And they're looking at it might also be the fact that there is the risk involved in transitioning to your product is something that they need to consider on every side. All right. So um imagine wanting to you know a product that is used by let's just say an HR product. Not really, not HR. HR might not really have so much of this thing. Let's say a payment, a reimbursement software, and you can easily get very smaller companies, businesses to use that this thing with because but if it's a company that is serving a very large market or large people and things like that, they want to consider a lot of things, ask major question on how some um concerns and ensure that you can provide that clarification so that you can be able to win the set of people. All right. So here you're offering discount, incentive. You might even find yourself offering um what's it, white labeling, because these guys are people that their major concern is that they don't want your name of your brand to be showing in for before they can use that product. All right, so they might want to say that they want the white label. White label means um having a product but um changing the name to pretty much you're not the owner of the product, but you got the product and you then change the name to your own name. All right, so that's white label. So there are companies that are like that they before they can use that product, it has to have the name of their company. All right, so people like that can fall into the late majorities, and there are other things they consider as well. So you focus on necessity, cost saving, and things like that. You focus on use urgency. All right, so if there's external pressure such as industry change or discontinued of older solutions, use this to create sense of urgency for them so that they can quickly use your product. All right, so especially if they see that there's something major that, like I said, mentioned the industry change, the regulatory stuff that would impact your product. If you're able to position your product as the solution, as something that will help them get out of that mess, you'll be able to get lead majorities and laggards. All right. So these are just same things that I mentioned here. Onboarding for innovators, quick start guide, beta, and the metrics that I mentioned. All right, that's pretty much everything I mentioned. All right. So that's it for this course, for this particular lesson. All right. Let me know if you guys have any questions as regarding this. Please tell me if you hear me since.
Thank you, sir.
If you hear me, okay. Good. All right. I just wanted to be sure. All right. Good. All right. So questions. What are your questions, guys? Do you have any questions regarding this adoption call? And this is pretty much where product management gets pretty interesting, because you are now looking to really solve market problems. People really getting to address things from a market standpoint, because you've launched now. So your major goal right now is seeing how people use your product, user engagement, how you grow in the market, because that's where you start making money, for your company. All right. And that's where your working starts showing, whether your product or the wala you've done in your ideation, in your development, designing, this is where it then gets proven. All right. And whether you then start going back again, not like going back, but going through the circle of the sprint, when we talk about development, feedback. So from all of these engagements, you're getting feedback on how to then improve on your product, and how you can then best position yourself in the market as well. All right. Any question, guys?
Yes, I have a question.
All right. Your name and your question.
Okay, my name is Lillian, and I appreciate your time for taking us through this particular session. But the role of a product manager in the marketing stage, I'm not so sure about that. I understand it completely, because it seemed like what you put us through now was more like those in the marketing role and less in the product section. Or do we have to know this part too?
Yeah, pretty much. Like I said, if you're in the first class, your as a product manager, your role is across the life cycle of the product, from ideation to design to development to launch to market growth. All right, market growth. All right, and then maybe to the end of that life cycle where you need to, users are no longer demanding for the product. But yes, it doesn't end that development. It also gets to the point where you need to ensure that your product succeed in the market. And in the recent, this is where most product I mean this in product management managers that really understand this phase are actually one of the most demanded product managers in the market currently, in the career market currently. So you need to understand how. So here in this stage, right, we're going to just see in this product launch phase, there's some more things we'll talk about in terms of how to track, how to measure metrics and things like that. We look at several areas, but this is a very important stage because, like I said, you can find yourself in a company where the product is already in the market. All you are doing is improving enhancement and ensuring that you're working with the rest of the team to better position your product for success in the market. All right. So you might not find yourself even interfacing with so much with the engineer, because right now you're looking at you're coming from the point of strategy. Strategy in terms of what are the things, how do we understand our customers to the point whereby we can best position our markets for success. All right. So those are other things these are things that also you need to you need to understand. So it's not necessarily just for marketing managers or things like that, but this aspect is still more on product aspect than more marketing. Do you understand? So you need to understand it.
All right, thank you. I do have another question though.
All right, go on.
Okay, you mentioned different set of people from early adopters to laggards. and we know how slow laggards can be. Does that mean refining? Let's say we want to adopt them into our product now, we want them to use it. Does that mean we will need to refine our product features or processes just to fit theirs? Because, like we said, they might not necessarily understand some parts, and it's a lot harder for them to use our products. Do we have to then
Okay.
change our feature and
So,
processes?
so it's not changing, because if you're able to simplify your product to the point where laggard can use it, it is already it's even more simple for early adopters and early majorities. So in a way sense, your journey in terms of improving the experience, the support, the features, and everything is such that if you're able to improve your solution, that laggards and majority are using it, you literally don't have problem with innovators and early adopters and early majorities. So it's not like you're changing, all right. As a product manager, right, your goal is to keep improving the experience of your product, keep simplifying the processes, keep ensuring that people are having a brilliant and exceptional experience. You keep delighting your customers, right? So there's always room for improvement. There's always room for improvement. So if you improve your product to the point where you're able to you're able to get the late majority of laggards, you probably have conquered early adopters and early majorities already. So it's not like a change. It's a journey where your product is going. So it's a journey, pretty much a journey. It's not change. It's an improvement that keep happening, and the level of support and the level of additional things that you had. Okay, let's look at this quickly, right? And look at the stage. You see that it's literally how the regular stage of a product, all right, that you're trying to bring into the market. At first, before you even bring out, when you have your MVP most likely be a beta version, all right, and because you're still trying to validate things, right? When you have a beta version in the market, the set of people you are targeting are innovators automatically, right? Because you've not started putting a lot of things in your future. You've started adding, maybe your team is still even very small. You don't have a support team and things like that. So at those phase, most likely you'll be attracting are innovators. All right. So, but the more you start improving on your offerings, improving on your process, improving on your experiences, all right, um, which then takes you to adding. So you're adding things. You're not changing. Of course, you're changing based on feedback, all right. But the real sense is that you're adding things to make it more better. So now after having releasing your beta version, you already you already have them into your feedback loop, your innovators, and you're getting feedback on how to improve your product. All right. Then you are then starting to, based on their feedback, you've started adding step-by-step tutorials and walk through guided walkthrough, in your solution. All right. You see, you're adding it. After that, based on their feedback, you start adding, in-app tooltips and messaging, start adding community. So as you keep adding all of these things, it increases your chance of the kind of people that you can, the kind of people that you can adopt. You get it? So that's pretty much it. It's not like your system with your product will have to change, be a different solution. No, it's not gonna be a different solution. You're just gonna keep adding some things that makes the product even way better. All right. And if you have it to the point where it's as good to the point that laggards and late majorities are coming back to use your product, trust me, you've already scaled across all of this. You only scale across early adopters and early majorities. All right.
Sir, please, I have a question, sir.
All right. Let's have it. Your name?
Sir, please, my name is Emmanuel Suji.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Sir, please, I want to ask if you're having a high churn rate, especially in the early part of your adoption phases. How do you determine what was the cause? How do you determine the cause of the churn rate, and how do you fix it?
All right. So for all of this, if you're experiencing early churn rates, all right, at your this thing, in fact, you shouldn't be having churn rate, because your goal in your early stage is to quickly improve on your product. So when you launch your product early, right, you should be way closer to your customers, adding them into user group, working with them. So in fact, before you even put a product out, right, have a send invites to some of your users, all right, your early users, right, to join into your testing group and run a test with them. Remember we'll talk about that usability test and things like that. So you might want to run a series of phases of testing with them, such that you are getting feedback to know that at least they can get they can get the function, they can be able to use, achieve the function, the outcome that the product is meant to achieve. So the only reason why you're getting churn is whereby the real goal of that product is I can't achieve it. So imagine you tell me this product is used for, can convert my an app that can convert um image to PDF, and I go on that app, I uploaded the image, and I'm trying to convert, it's not converting. All right, I will not come back. All right, I'm an innovator, right? I just saw the app. This app is nice. Let me try it, and I tried. I can't achieve my outcome. That's so the only reason why you be getting shown for innovators, right, or early adopters is if your product is not doing what it's meant to do, and there are a lot of bugs. People are getting bugs. It's slow and things like that. So if you're able to achieve things in terms of functionality, your product is working well, you might still be able to you find a step still retaining your innovators and early adopters. So far your product is good, is working well. So that's most of the reason why you experience churn rate. So remember we talked about feature usage here. Are they able to use a feature? If they're not able to use your feature, they will not come back. So that's literally the metrics you're tracking. So by the time you see that when you're looking at the engagement, right, and you see that there is a drop off at a particular flow, all right, user float for a particular feature, people are not getting to the next phase, next page. So you're tracking that and you're seeing that they're not getting to the next phase. It means that there's a problem somewhere. Maybe a particular button is not clickable or something is happening or stuff like that. So you look at that, address that quickly, and ensure that people can use that feature. So it's only when it's not usable that's when your innovators will be churning. All right. Is that clear?
Yes, thank you, sir. Thank you.
All right. All right. Any other question, guys?
Sir, please, I also like to add something from the MVP class. I would like to prepare something I came across recently. Is that fine?
Okay, is it a question or you want to add something?
I want to
Right,
ask,
just
but not today's topic.
ask.
Okay.
Okay.
Sir, concerning building of MVP.
Mm-hmm.
So if we are supposed to build like a functional MVP, how do we get involved with